Welcome to a new episode of the LibreOffice podcast. We've talked in previous episodes about different things we're doing in the LibreOffice project and community, like design, marketing, QA. But today I'm talking to Jonathan Clark, who is one of my colleagues here at the Document Foundation, the small nonprofit that coordinates the LibreOffice project and community. Hi, Jonathan.
Hello.
Greetings from Munich. Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Western Canada.
Ah, cool. Um, so yeah, you joined the TDF team recently-ish, to help improve LibreOffice's language support. So we often say that LibreOffice has very broad language support. I think it's available in 120 different languages. But of course, it's not just about languages with Latin scripts, but many other scripts as well. So Jonathan, tell us a bit, what are some of the things you've been working on since you joined TDF and the LibreOffice project?
I would say that a lot of the work that I've been doing has been fixing bugs. Sadly, we had quite a large backlog of issues with different languages, dating back many years. So it's only been recently that I've been able to start working more on nice new features for people who use different languages. We've had a lot of issues where we would incorrectly render text in various languages, particularly complex the CTL languages, so Middle East, Southeast Asia, areas like that. And of course, compatibility with other Office suites is always an ongoing concern.
Right, yeah. But you did mention some of the new features, which once you've dealt with the backlog of bugs you'd like to tackle. So tell us about some of those.
Yeah. So one major change that we're hoping to make, you can experiment with it with the next release, but we're really planning on rolling it out for the release after that. So roughly a year from now, we're going to change the default or the way that paragraph alignment works. And so right now you would align a paragraph left or right, and that's the physical alignment of the paragraph on the page. But for writing systems that are read from right to left, that way of working is pretty unpleasant. It means, among other things, you can't reuse the same styles if your document contains paragraphs that are left to right and right to left. And so what we're planning on doing instead is we're going to hopefully encourage everyone to use start and end alignment. And that way, if your paragraph is read from right to left and you set start alignment, it'll naturally be aligned to the right side of the page. But if you are just using left to right languages, your paragraph will still be aligned to the left.
Okay, so, yeah. Yeah, go on. Do you want to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say it should be a nice usability improvement for people who use right to left languages.
Yeah. I guess one of the bigger challenges as well is LibreOffice is multi-platform, and there's a lot of code and a lot of legacy code, I think, as well, for handling many different platforms. And I know we deprecate operating systems sometimes, like we're no longer going to work on Windows 7, at least not officially, because at some point you have to stop supporting operating systems when the vendor stops supporting as well. But yeah, I guess that's a challenge, is it? Making everything work smoothly on Linux, the BSDs, so that's X and Wayland, and then Windows and Mac OS, and then you got people porting to Haiku and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it varies. I would say that for multi-language support, we're in a pretty good place there, because years before my time, we switched to using Harfbuzz, which is sort of the industry standard open source shaping library. And the benefit of that is that we're now using the same logic to lay out characters on the screen across all of the platforms, rather than relying on a platform specific shaping algorithm. But for user interface elements, we do have some issues there. And in particular for the CJK languages, you have to enter your text using an IME, and every platform has their own IMEs and their own IME frameworks. And we get lots of small bugs that are platform specific in that area.
I bet, yeah, and this is something we talked about in accessibility as well with Michael. That yeah, you do some things in that, but of course some things are better off done at the operating system level. But then those are implemented in different ways. So yeah, you mentioned CJK languages, of course, that being Chinese, Japanese, Korean. But even they have a I guess a subset inside, because as I understand it, Korean is actually a syllabary, isn't it? Like an alphabet, but the characters arranged in like triangles are similar, so they look similar to like Chinese characters. I'm not sure if that was the original intention when when that script was designed, but it's classed as CJK, but I guess it has its own way of working.
Yeah. So for Korean, we kind of lump it into CJK because it has similar typesetting conventions. But as you said, they don't use the logographs anymore. There are a few interesting cases where they do, but it's kind of a niche use case now. For the most part, they write. I don't remember if it. I can't remember the technical term for it, but yeah, their characters are composed of jamos, which have um, a phonetic value, and then based on the layout of the character itself, you have a complete syllable encoded.
That must be also a challenge then, that I think about it, because yeah, Japanese is normally written left to right, but in some like I think historic texts, so if you want to make something look historic, it will be written from top to bottom as well. So then, yeah,
Yeah, and novels nowadays and comic books in Japanese are still written top to bottom, right to left.
right, yeah. So that's I guess another challenge, yeah. And tell us, what are some of the other challenging things you've worked on, or anything that's really surprised you as you've gone around fixing bugs and implementing things in for the different languages?
Um, I wouldn't say that anything's really surprised me. I would say that one of the bigger challenges is uh, I might get in trouble by talking about it. LibreOffice is based on a very mature code base. It's been around for a very long time, and it started, if I understand correctly, as a teenager's side project in Germany back in the 1980s or 1990s.
80s, yeah.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is that when you design a software system without a lot of help from people who know lots about languages, you tend to make engineering decisions that bake in your own assumptions about how languages should work. So a good example of that is that when you're laying out language on a screen and you want one word to be highlighted or underlined, for instance, you can't just take your string and chop a piece out and then glue them back together. Uh, one the for The reason that we use a shaping library is because deciding exactly what glyphs to use from a font and where to position them on the screen is not trivial, and it involves looking at the surrounding context, so looking at the characters around it. And when you encode the assumption that you can just chop up text and glue it back together, you end up creating a system that can't quite render many languages correctly.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, a lot of the decisions made in the 80s, when, like you say, it was a small project, they can come back to bite you so many years down the line when, yeah, you just make assumptions about how languages are based on Indo-European languages, or just German as it started off. Yeah. So, and as you're working on this and other people in the community as well, how can people help out with language support? I guess reporting bugs is one of the big ways.
Yeah. I mean, if people happen to know how to program, that kind of work is always appreciated. But even if you know a language, you have expertise in it, or you can translate user reports, filing bugs is very helpful. And in general, just trying to teach other people in the community how your language works. If there are cases that we don't handle correctly or in the way that you expect, speak up, let us know. Let us know why it's wrong. We all do our best, but there's a limit to how much people can know about other languages.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. We've talked about this as well before in other podcasts, like with marketing. We market LibreOffice in languages we know, but obviously each team member and member in the community has a limited range of languages. So the more help we have there, the better. Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks, Jonathan, for that overview of what's going on. And we'll put some links in the video description as well, so people can learn about what you're doing. And we have wiki pages as well on these topics, and a link to the Bugzilla as well. So, yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody, for listening. Bye-bye.